So this just landed in the mail today. Let's take a look. So the original Jeepers Creepers starring Justin Long came out in 2001, which was the story of a brother and sister traveling cross country to see their family on the other side of America. Along their journey, they encountered the Creeper, and it was a great flick. It was very moody, very atmospheric. The introduction of the Creeper was this brand new, iconic creation. It was scary, brutal, and fantastically designed. The performance of the Creeper by Jonathan Breck was creepy. And the ending of that movie was an absolute shocker. Love it. Very bleak. Great flick. And then Jeepers Creepers 2 came out 2003 about a group of school students on a bus on the way to a football competition. The Creeper attacks the bus. Ray Wise is in this one as a grieving father who, with his son, who are out for vengeance on the Creeper, who has just killed his youngest boy, and he's going to stop at nothing. He gets a rigged up truck with a massive spear on it, and he's after the Creeper, and it's pretty fun, very claustrophobic. I loved all the interplay with the characters on the bus. It was a top flick, very enjoyable sequel. 14 years later, we get Jeepers Creepers 3. I don't know why it took so long for this one to come out, but I have to admit it wasn't really worth the wait. It wasn't a bad movie, not at all. Victor Salva, the writer-director, has crafted a film that is very much in keeping with the other two movies in tone, and the Creeper, once again portrayed by Jonathan Breck, is very menacing. He's cool. The Creeper, like I said, is a wonderful design. It's this gigantic demon thing that kind of mimics the look of a man, so that can kind of fool people into a false sense of security before, attacking and eating their faces off. So Jeepers Creepers 3 stars Stan Shaw, Gabrielle Ho, Brandon Smith, Meg Foster, and Chester Rushing. Nobody really of note except for Stan Shaw and Meg Foster, who I'm sure once you see this movie you will recognise them from other films. They've been around for years and they're really quite accomplished actors, and I was quite happy to see them on screen. Jeepers Creepers 3 pretty much picks up directly when Jeepers Creepers 1 ends. It's the same night leading to the next morning, which was a little bit confusing for me because Jeepers Creepers 2 was set a few days after Jeepers Creepers. So essentially this one is Jeepers Creepers part 1.5. It's a decent enough story. There's a few jump scares. The gore effects were okay. There was a fair bit of CGI in this one, very noticeable CGI, a lot of green screen work, but the direction was competent and it was a beautiful movie. It was shot really well. It looked nice. I wish it was on 4K. That would have been beautiful, but as it is on the Blu-ray, on my LG OLED 4K HD TV, it still looked beautiful anyway. This thing can upscale Blu-rays to a really nice level, so yeah, it still looked beautiful. It was a good looking movie. My only kind of complaint is that this movie didn't really have anywhere to go because part 1 ended on such a high note, and then part 2, they're locked in. It's basically a prequel to part 2, so they're kind of locked into that story, so they couldn't really do too much in this one. They couldn't kill the creature, maim it in any way, because when he turns up in part 2, he's full-fledged. Although the monster is pretty cool, and the fact that if you ever damage it, if you hurt something, like he gets an arm cut off, his next victim that he catches, he will eat the arm and his arm will grow back. He's basically indestructible. As we learn in this one, he's an ancient thing that's been doing this since man discovered technology, so this thing's been around for a while. There were a few stingers in this movie that kind of hinted at the fact that we were going to learn a bit more about the Creeper. Usually in part 3 of a movie, we do learn, in these kind of scary movies, we do learn a little bit more about the monster. We get a bit more backstory, and we learn a little bit about what the thing is, what makes them tick. We don't get any of that here at all. We get a sign saying, "We know what you are." And then the creature falls to his knees and does the whole Vader, "No!" Well, he roars. It's bad. But that's it. I kind of saw this bit in the movie and I thought, oh shit, it's got like 10 minutes to go. This is going to end soon. We're not going to learn anything. It just kind of like nothing really happened in this movie. It was enjoyable. It wasn't horrible. I read a lot of reviews and I saw a lot of criticism that this movie really sucked and it wasn't really worth the 14-year wait. And it wasn't. But it wasn't horrible. Like I said, it was quite competently made and had a few good scares and was another good chapter in the monsters story in the Jeepers Creepers thing. But it just didn't go anywhere. It was just like a waste of time. Nothing happened. And that's a shame because the Creeper is a really fantastic creation and they've got a lot of potential with this thing to make a really good franchise out of it. Part 1 and Part 2 were cinema releases. This one was straight to DVD, so I'm wondering if that's going to happen. Well, it was straight to DVD here in Australia, so I don't know if it's going to... Everything just becomes a cheap and nasty cash grab that just comes pouring onto the DVD shelf at an alarming rate. I already heard that they're kind of like, well, Victor Salva is contemplating doing a Part 4. Well, mild spoiler, this one ends with the sister from Part 1, now 23 years later after this one has ended. She's back, so we know Part 4 is going to be her story from Part 1 carried on. There is going to be more coming. I just hope that they do it justice and get a good story and go full throttle and we learn a little bit more about the monster and we just get a good story out of it. Because the mood's down pat. Victor Salva's got a good eye for direction and the cinematography in these movies is good. They just drip in atmospheres. I don't know if he's going to come back for Part 4. My personal feelings on Victor Salva I'm not going to bring up on here at all. If you know anything about his history, he has been in trouble with the law. But that's all I'm going to say on that. So, Jeepers Creepers 3. I will give this movie 6.5 out of 10. Not because it was bad. Not because the performances weren't any good. The Creeper was great. Fantastic creation. It's just that the story was... It's just kind of hamstrung by where it's placed in the chronology of the series. I just had nowhere to go. There was no real urgency or sense of a threat. It was just there. So anyway, guys, thanks for checking into my channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Please throw me a like and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.